Hello everyone, I'm Moin from Bioautonomy, and today I'm going to talk about what is the difference of nature-based architecture and conventional architecture. So basically we have nature-based and I call it conventional, which is really how we're building today. It's how all our cities basically are designed, right? So what we need to understand is that conventional architecture has come to a point where it's completely disconnected from the natural world. See, there was a time in human history where architects and engineers were relying on the infrastructure of the natural world to design their buildings. But today, after the Industrial Revolution, we have completely forgotten how to design buildings that operate with nature's infrastructure. So conventional architecture is mostly based on mechanical solutions. So what architects do is that they design a building and they rely on mechanical solutions for it to operate. So heating and cooling, for example, is based on mechanical heating and cooling system. Now, what these systems do is that they consume energy, right? We all know today buildings in our world are responsible for around 40% of the carbon emissions that are produced. That's a big number. So also we use mechanical solution to get water. So our buildings consume water. Now, it's not only that it's consuming energy and water, but this actually costs us money, right? That's the rent me and you are paying every day. We go out, we go working, and then 50% almost of most people's income goes to paying rent, which is to make our buildings comfortable in terms of temperature and make sure that we have access to water and sanitation. So this is how we've built basically the majority of our cities and buildings. Now, there is a different way of building our buildings and our cities, which is nature-based solutions. See, nature-based solutions comes out of nature, just like it sounds. Nature has 3.8 billion years of research and innovation on how to live on planet Earth in a sustainable way without having to consume energy and having to consume water. Now, of course, we do use water and we do use energy, but we use it in a sustainable way. So, for example, in nature-based buildings, what we do is that we use the energy of the sun to heat our buildings. Now, you might say, well, Moin, how does that work in periods of time when there's no sun? That's a really good question. What we do is that we store the heat during the warmer seasons inside the building, and then we reuse it later during the colder seasons. This is something that we go into detail in our Bioautonomy Online Academy, and we talk about how to design buildings like this. And we're able to heat these buildings without using any mechanical or electrical components. It's all based on using physics, right? And then the same way with cooling. We can cool the buildings by using physics. What we do is that we have the air channeled under the ground where temperatures are cool, and then we cool the air completely naturally before it enters the building. And that way we have a completely natural air conditioning system. So that's how we heat our buildings, is basically based on physics. That's it. And you know what the good thing with physics is? It costs zero. So that means that you save 80% of your energy bills, because 80% of your energy bills goes to heating and cooling. So don't use fossil fuels, use physics. Now, what do we do about water? Okay, see, water exists in the atmosphere. So when it rains, we design our buildings and our landscape to harvest the water. There's no need to pump water thousands of kilometers away from a well when it comes from the sky. So what we do is we harvest water and we filter it. We have our own filtration system. We filter the water all the way to clean, drinkable water. Now, you might be asking yourself, but how does that work in areas that it doesn't rain? Well, when it rains, it rains. And what you do is you basically dimension your system. So even if it only rains one time during the year, you can capture enough water for a whole year of consumption. So it's just about dimensioning the system based on your local climate, right? Now, this system of water is based on biology as well, because what we do is we reuse the water in the building 4 times, right? You heard me correct, 4 times. First, it is used by us humans for sanitation. Second, we reuse that water automatically to produce fruits and vegetables. Inside our building, which we have a food production system, so you're actually growing your own food. Then we reuse that water for a 3rd time to flush the toilet. So we're not flushing the toilet with clean water, we're flushing it with water that you already been using for irrigation and for showering. Then that black water that comes out of the toilet, we break that down from solid into liquid, and we reuse it to regenerate the ecosystems around the building. So that means the buildings are actually having a positive impact on the natural world, and we're not stealing any water from the groundwater. So, you know, the cost of biology, 0. So, to summarize it for you, if you decide to build yourself a conventional building based on conventional architecture, you just have to take for granted that for the rest of your life, you have to pay utility bills. You have to pay for energy because you have to heat and cool your buildings. You have to pay for the water because you're consuming water. You're buying it from either companies or you're buying it from your city. While if you go with nature-based solutions, you will save so much money, basically, which allows you to have so much more time for yourself, and you will be less independent and more free. And you can live your life more free, basically. And that's what happens when you follow nature instead of relying on conventional systems. So if you find this interesting and you want to learn more and you want to learn the details about how to design these buildings, what is the proportions you should use, what is the materials you should use, how high should your ceiling be, all these details we will teach you in our online academy. And if you want to join us, just go to bioautonomyacademy.com and sign up for the waiting list, and we will let you know when we're ready to launch. Okay? Thank you guys. Follow for more.